This week on 49ers Sac-Hi Sports, the 2021 season has come to an end. Now it's time to celebrate the best of 49ers Sac-Hi Sports. We'll revisit exciting finishes in football, water polo, and volleyball, including that fantastic goal line stand from Folsom, the Davis water polo game for the ages, and the 5-set thriller in volleyball.
You'll be reminded of the athletes overcoming adversity, including the story of the football team from El Dorado High School and the players battling the Calder Fire. Remember the week when the fog took over the playoffs in the Valley? We'll show you the game that stood out the most. We will break down the top 10 plays of the year. 49ers Sac-Hi Sports starts right now.
Welcome to 49ers Sac-Hi Sports. I'm Aubrey Tolliver.
And I'm Robert Brownstein. Let me be the first in the Sac-Hi family to wish you all a happy new year. 19 shows down, 22 more to go. Tonight we want to go back and bring you the best of what the last 5 months has brought us.
That's right. We start off with a Week 2 matchup between Mountain House and Weston Ranch that left us speechless in the end.
Parker Ream here at Weston Ranch, where the starting quarterback Namir Brown-Singer was getting taped up pregame. We'll get to him later, but it was Mountain House that struck first. Amari Brooks finds a wide-open Dexter Francis III. A nice pitch and catch for the touchdown, 6-0 after the missed two-point conversion. We head to the second quarter. Weston Ranch trying to get something done on offense, but the Mustang defense just too strong. Anais Brooks with an incredible interception right there. Mountain House held a 6-0 lead at the half, but the Cougars were ready to pounce in the third quarter. Q Namir coming to the rescue, takes the snap right here, almost slips, but a good thing they were only a yard out, extends and scores the touchdown 6-6 after the missed PAT, and he was not done. Fourth down, fourth quarter, less than 10 minutes to go. It's clutch time for Namir. He's running once more, gets the first down, and why not just take it all the way? He puts them on his back. Second touchdown for Namir on the day. But he can do more than just use his feet. He has an absolute cannon for an arm. Namir unloads one, a perfect ball to Xavier Jones. 19-6, the Cougars led at that point. Let's take you to 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Third down, Mountain House only down by one score, 19-12. But Namir Brown-Singer just won't go down. What a run. It was so long, I had to speed it up for you guys. Over 200 yards rushing. 4 total touchdowns for Namir on the day, but Mountain House just wouldn't quit. After a long touchdown brings them within one score, they get the ball back, clocks at 1 second, one final play, Brooks to Roy Gardner, but Dexter Francis takes it as he's going down and scores the touchdown, so they're just within a 2-point conversion from tying it. Brooks looking for Gardner once more, but a great defensive play seals the deal. And Weston Ranch comes out with the win, 26-24, to secure their first win of the season. Let's hear from Brown-Singer.
First game back since freshman year. Finally get a dub here. I haven't got one since October 2019, so it feels good to bring one home from school.
The Rams from Dixon High School hosting league opponent Woodland Tuesday night. And it's Dixon with the hot start early. Caitlin Chipley receives it, then Casey Vaughn sets to Maddie White, who slams it home, and the Rams' middle was not done yet. White blocks Woodland's shot. Dixon goes on to take the first set, 25-18. In the second, Anya Castillo gets the dig, and Samantha Inbox sets for Olivia Poddick, who tips it over. But this set was all Dixon. Shipley bumps to Vaughn, a little trickery there to put the Rams up 17-6. Lola Bernhardt, Vaughn to the hard-hitting Katie Peterson. Dixon wins the set to go up 2-0. But here's where things get interesting. Set 3, Imbach, Isabella Montez, Nami Garcia. Woodland escapes a sweep and wins set 3. Nami was about to go off. She gets the dig. Then Mackenzie Barrios sets her up in the corner. Nami places it along the end line, and the Wolves take the lead in the fourth. Dixon going for the kill. Great block from Pollock, and Vaughn, quick thinking, finds open court on the Wolves side, but Woodland goes on an unbelievable run late. Montez, Imbach, the set to Joy Perez, and the sophomore tools it off the block. Then Castillo delivers a powerful shot, and Woodland, down by 2 sets, takes it to a set 5. Playing to 15, the solo block from White makes trouble. Montez, the libero, with an emergency swing, and she hits the end line. It's in. Woodland coming up with big plays all throughout the fifth. Garcia nearly from the bench, swings an arm, and it hits off the tape and lands in Dixon territory. That brings up match point, but the Rams add drama to the end of this one as White gets the serve to drop. 5 straight Rams points to make it 14-12. Castillo from the corner. That shot is good. Woodland wins set 5, 15-12 to complete the comeback. Garcia and Pollock with 9 kills apiece as the Wolves improved to 7-2 on the season, 2-0 in league play.
Stanford Healthcare brings us important tips so athletes can perform at their very best.
Here's Dr. Stephen Weiss with this week's Stanford Health tip.
There's been a dramatic increase in shoulder and elbow overuse injuries. Pitchers are at the greatest risk. In fact, pitchers have a 25 times greater risk of arm injury when their arm is tired or in pain. To prevent these injuries, you shouldn't throw more than 100 innings per year if throwing from 60 feet. You should take off 4 months per year, avoiding also playing catcher. Be sure to always stretch and warm up prior to pitching. Know proper pitching mechanics, and follow all pitch count and rest guidelines.
Coming up, our first SunPower Electric game, Folsom travels to Concord for the big rematch for the NorCal Championship.
Then the triple overtime water polo game with Davis and Soquel when 49ers Sac-Hi Sports returns.
At Tracy Toyota, we're not just devoted to selling cars. We're committed to our community. We're donating $100,000 to help local organizations in Tracy. We call it Champions Thanking Heroes. We also donated to the Toyota U.S. Paralympic Fund to support and empower these extraordinary athletes. Check out our great lineup of new Toyotas. Our certified used cars come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Shop in person or at tracytoyota.com. Tracy Toyota, with you all the way.
The Folsom Bulldogs finished the season on a high note after hitting a rough patch in the middle of the season, basically beginning after they lost to De La Salle the first time.
Well, they wanted a second chance at the Spartans, and after defeating Rockland in the Sac Joaquin section finals, Folsom got their wish for a rematch in the NorCal finals. It was a no-brainer to give this game to Parker Ream for the SunPower Electric game.
Electric game.
Parker Ream here at De La Salle High School. It's the rematch that was destined to happen. I take you back to week 7, where Folsom took on the Spartans in what was thought to be the possible power shift in Northern California. But De La Salle shut down those rumors very quickly with a 31-10 win on the road. Now the Spartans get the Bulldogs at home for round 2. The last time Tyler Tremaine was knocked out in the third quarter and has slowly but surely returned to the superstar form he's always been on Folsom's miraculous road back to the big stage. We'll see who comes down with the win and heads to Southern California in round 2 of this epic matchup. It's Folsom taking on De La Salle in this week's SunPower Electric game. Let's get right into this epic game. Can Folsom pull the upset? First quarter, De La Salle eager to answer no to that question. A pitch to Zeke Berry, but it's not a run. He airs it out to Malik Viewens, who's wide open for the 55-yard score. Spartans strike first. De La Salle, they got the onside kick, scored once more to make it 14-0, and Folsom would need an answer. Well, here's your answer. Rico Flores Jr. with the one-handed catch to set up Folsom in plus territory, and they convert. Tyler Tremaine firing to Austin McMillan, who comes up with a nice catch, 14-7 after 1. Second quarter, Luke Durman tries to add to the lead, but DJ Brown has other plans. He comes up with the interception, and Folsom has the momentum later in the drive. Tyler Tremaine takes advantage of the turnover, bouncing outside, then inside to dive into the end zone. Both teams tied at 14 at the half. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. We go. Folsom came out swinging. It's Tyler Tremaine once more, bouncing to his left and up the sideline for the score, his second rushing score of the day. 21-14, Bulldogs take their first lead of the night. We head to the fourth. Tremaine drops back, and a dart to Walker Lyons is caught, but the ball comes loose. Ronald Pierce picks it up. Zeke Berry was saying it was incomplete, and I'm sure he'll take the scoop and score. It's all the same, 21-all. So the Bulldogs go to work and drive all the way down the field. 2 minutes left. It's Tremaine again punching it in from 3 yards out. Folsom takes the lead 28-21, but De La Salle with the 2-minute drill to perfection. Derman drops back and unloads one to Zeke, and he comes down with it. At least I think the ball comes loose, but they rule it a touchdown. They just need the extra point to tie, but that's too easy. Let's try a 2-point conversion. Barry off the edge, trying to go ahead with a minute and a half to go, but the Bulldogs make the stop as Folsom beats De La Salle for the first time in school history to take the CIF D1 AA state championship.
I'll remember this day forever. Just beating De La Salle, a team that this school has never beat, I'll remember this day forever, and it's a team win.
We're going to the ship! We're going to the ship! We're going to the ship!
The NorCal Division I semifinals has second-seeded Davis squaring off against Soquel, and I'll say it now, this one was nuts. Lindsey Taylor passes to Layla Moraz in the middle, and Layla blasts it in. We are tied at 1 after 1. In the second quarter, Lucy Lapuz gets it on over to Kenzie Walker, and the strong junior gets that shot to go. The Knights in control here. Quinn Healy one-times it off the pass from Kayla Mathies, but Davis would hold on to the 4-3 lead at the half. Kenzie Walker has been lights out this postseason, scoring 15 goals in the Blue Devils' last 3 games. She'd have 3 tonight. Let's see if it was enough. The Knights' star player, Kelsey Mathies, was trouble for Davis, going back-to-back to take the 7-6 lead with time winding down in the 4th. And here Kelsey is again on the breakaway, but an incredible save from Maddie Walker keeps the Soquel lead to 1. 13 seconds left on the clock. Devils need a goal, and Lindsey Taylor delivers. We are tied at 7 heading into overtime. But that pesky Kelsey Mathies trying to dampen the Blue Devil spirits, bouncing in that shot off the breakaway. But in the second period of the first overtime, Taylor's shot goes off the post, and Malaya Wright gets the rebound and pushes it home. Malaya's dad and Davis head coach Doug Wright cheering on his team heading into a second overtime. It's golden goal. Watch this save from Maddie Walker. Unbelievable 19 saves in net for her. Now in the third overtime, Kenzie Walker to Malaya Wright, and that one is for it all. The junior sends everyone home, sending her team to the NorCal D1 Championships, where Davis will face a very tough Miramonte team.
I just feel energized. I feel like we've worked so hard. We've came this far. We can totally win this next game. I believe in our team. We have a lot of moxie. We got this. We can pound them.
Right to say, that was my kid.
Coming up, the girls from St. Francis and Pleasant Grove meeting on the hardwood for a 5-set thriller.
Then you'll meet this week's first inspirational athlete, David Avilez from Dixon. 49ers Sac-Hi Sports. We'll be right back.
Every day, the sun comes up. And right on cue, the work begins. We start every morning, knowing full well we are in it for the long haul. Our work is a labor of love. No task too small, no moment uncherished. And although we're not often thanked, we rest knowing that our work is making a brighter future. This is more than milk.
Right now, my electrical bill is about $10 a month.
This is definitely one of the best investments we did in our house.
All over the country, people are taking control over their electric bills by going solar with SunPower. We offer the most efficient, durable panels on the market, so you can see a return on your investment every month.
I was paying $220 a month, but now I pay about $22 a month.
Right now, 49ers faithful get a $1,000 Visa reward card from SunPower. Go online today.
Now, one of the best things about volleyball is when you get 2 talented teams together, you know it's not going to end in 3 straight sets.
Yeah, and that's the way this one played out between St. Francis and Pleasant Grove. We had to bring it back and show it to you again. It's the Troubadours and Eagles in a thriller.
Parker Ream on hand to watch some incredible volleyball on Monday night. St. Francis taking on Pleasant Grove, and in the first set, the Troubies causing some trouble. Absolute chaos once it gets back over the net. Caroline Foraker, Sophia Garza, Foraker again just gets it over, and it's in. Sometimes you kind of need those plays. Still in the first. This next one's a little bit more textbook. Zoe Hopkins gets the dig to Carly Padilla, falling away, finds Garza for the easy kill as St. Francis takes the first set 25-16. Second set, they'd keep it going. Savannah Risley to Jade Light, but there was no light shining through that brick wall of Foraker and Garza. Troubies take the second set. Third set, Pleasant Grove trying to get something going, and they do. Sliding set by Padilla to Mila Stojakovic, but Risley says, not in my gym. Nice block, gets them hyped. Keep it in the third. third we go. Light serving 15-7 Eagles. Padilla to Olivia Mlickerton. Jade Light gets the dig. Risley the set. And Fancy Hahn with the kill. And no, I will not be singing Iggy Azalea's Fancy in this highlight. Pleasant Grove takes the third set. Fourth set we go. Truby's had double match point. Clutch dig by Light there to save it. Risley and Light sneaks it through the gap. Ice in her veins, but none compared to this play. Match point again. Light with the dig. Risley with the set. But wait! It's not a set. The no-looker for the winner. Pleasant Grove fights off 3 match points and takes the fourth set 27-25. Fifth set, and Light sends them home happy. An incredible comeback in an epic 5-setter as Jade Light finishes with 32 kills, and Pleasant Grove gets the win 3-2.
Each week we bring you stories of athletes who inspire us.
We met David Avilez from Dixon High School back in November. The inspiring two-sport athlete was rocked by the tragic death of his twin brother, Luke. (2021) GEL League champions. The Dixon Rams saw their share of success this season, both on and off the field.
We really do care about winning, but most importantly, we care about what's best for the team, and that's being a brotherhood and inspiring each other.
Senior David Avilez has played his final football game. Bittersweet, but with David's strong work ethic, Coach Bessaggini says David will succeed at whatever he puts his mind to.
David's a kid that has always just been here, always put his head down and did his job, and had a smile on his face when he did it a lot of times.
David credits his strong work ethic to having a twin brother, an instant and constant competitor who has been pushing David since the day he was born.
We always compete against each other, academics, some athletics, mostly academics, but just being brothers.
Since they were born, they were competitive about things like height and weight. David was always just a smidge shorter and lighter than Luke, and they were always kind of neck and neck.
Neck and neck, side by side, arm in arm. The Avilez twins tackled life together, alongside younger brothers Andy and Benny. But 1 year ago, that reality changed.
Did you see any signs that he was kind of feeling like that?
No, I didn't. No. All out of the blue. I guess he was going through some dark times, and then he got ran over by a train. Suicide.
David's twin brother Luke took his own life on November 28th, 2020.
I just went numb. At first, I couldn't believe it, and then as it started sinking, I was like this really happened.
Luke was a social butterfly, an extrovert, go-getter. David, a bit more reserved, but strong-minded and loyal. David and Luke would bring out the best in each other.
They had this twin kind of connection. They didn't have their own language or anything like that, and they had their own way of communicating with each other and helping each other through everything.
But this is something David would have to get through without Luke. So David put his focus into sports and into his relationships to help cope with his grief.
Obviously with this, been devastating, but with how much of my family and friends have been able to help me cope with this, definitely made me truly happy sometimes.
He's matured so much, and part of it is the age that he is at anyways. But, what he's been through at the age of now almost 18 is significant, and how he's navigated it with so much composure. He stayed engaged in life. He's really a role model in that way, I think.
He's been more vocal with his teammates and with the students at Dixon High about just checking in with them. I'll see him talking to people, walking around campus, making sure everybody's okay. So he's kind of turned it to an outward focus when I think he's really an introverted kid, to be honest with you.
I want people to know that it's never too late to reach out to a family member, a friend, or just an acquaintance that something may be going wrong, then they can do their best to help you prevent what you might be thinking of doing.
David says he hopes to continue living life like Luke was still right there in front of him, pushing him to be great.
Wherever I go, he's always with me, no matter if he's here on this earth or not.
Although Luke is not here physically, he'll always be.
Every time I look in the mirror, I know there's a little bit of him in me there.
In David's own reflection. Now, baseball is David's main sport, so we will see him on the diamond come spring. Again, David will always keep Luke close to his heart and will continue to make him proud.
Yeah, just heartbreaking. All right, coming up, our Mattress Firm Perfect Match is a second-round Division III matchup between Lincoln and Christian Brothers, played in the fall.
Then the exciting game between Lincoln of Stockton and Downey when we come back.
Shop Mattress Firm's year-end sale. Right now, save up to $500 when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase up to a $499 value. Or shop top-selling brands and get up to 50% off select mattresses, like Sealy starting at $224.99 or Serta at $349.99. And you get it delivered fast. Only at Mattress Firm, the official sleep partner of the San Francisco 49ers.
49ers Sac-Hi Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By Stanford Healthcare, #1 in Northern California for orthopedics. And by SunPower, proud sponsor of the San Francisco 49ers.
Welcome back to Levi Stadium. We continue tonight with a game that was played in the second round of the Sac Joaquin Section Division III playoffs with Lincoln and Christian Brothers. The high-flying Falcons came into the meeting a first-round win over Rodriguez.
And those fighting Zebras of Lincoln relied heavily on the running game and sound defense. But it was the fog that stole the show on this night. It's this week's perfect match between Lincoln and Christian Brothers, a game ending in dramatic fashion.
Big night out in Lincoln as the second seed Fighting Zebras hosted the 7th seeded Christian Brothers in a D3 matchup. Early on, it was Lincoln's defense making the first big play as the safety Jacob Flood picks off the pass in the middle of the field for the Zebes. Then Lincoln would build off that play with this one. Johnny Bowser with the backwards pass to his tight end, Caden Noonan, who says, "Go deep, Flood," and he does. Flood's wide open for the 7-0 score. Zebras leading it. CB would respond. Jake Lordy to his freshman receiver, Philip Bell, who breaks a tackle, splits the defense, and he's gone for a 24-yard catch and run, game tied at 7. In the second quarter, Jackson Burleson takes the ball, and he heads outside. He gets in from 5 yards out, and the Falcons take the lead 14-7 at the half. It's now 21-7, third quarter. Christian Brothers with the lead. From 16 yards out, Johnny Bowser connects with a wide-open tight end, Dylan Fear, over the middle for the score. Star running back Gabe Burns for Lincoln was out with a leg injury. That meant a bigger workload for the junior running back Ryan Henning, who rushed 30 times today, busted outside, breaks the defender, and he's gone from a 59-yard touchdown. This game is tied at 21. With time winding down the game, under 2 minutes to go, CB is picked off by Jordan Wagner, who tips it to himself. Now what? He breaks a tackle, heads outside. Do I need to remind you that this game is tied? Someone tackle this guy. He's dead in the water, but no, he's not. From his own 30-yard line, Jordan gets past away. The Falcons looks for blocking, and Wagner is gone. Jordan can go all the way, and he does, as the Zebras go on to win 28-21. Lincoln with 21 unanswered points and will now host Manteca next week.
I was just trying to get to the end zone, trying not to get caught, trying not to look slow. It got gassed when I got there.
Have you had a play like that ever before in your life? Have you ever thought about something like that?
Not nothing like that, no. I had a few good plays, nothing that crazy.
The Downey Knights enter the field looking for their 4th win of the season, facing the Lincoln Trojans. Opening kickoff, the ball is fumbled and kicked into the end zone. The Knights recover the ball, and that is a safety. Downey goes up 2-0. But that wasn't enough. 2 minutes later, Connor Stoddard drops back and throws to Gavin Garcia in the end zone. The 14-yard connection makes it a 9-0 game. On the next Trojan drive, Kenyon Nelson hands it off to Jonah Coleman, and Jonah is off to the races. A 32-yard pickup for Jonah, setting up this Lincoln Trojan touchdown. Nelson with the keeper, he goes up the middle through heavy traffic, drives into the end zone. 9-7 the score late in the first. And the Trojans looking for more here, but Caden Edmiston flies in for the sack. It remains a 9-7 Downey lead, and that was the score at the halfway point. Third quarter, Stoddard passes to Kamoni Ragland in the flat, and the powerful junior running back picks up some yards. The Knights punch it in on the next play. That is Elijah Stein with the TD. Elijah had a big second half. We skip ahead to the fourth quarter. Downey leads it 23-14. 3 minutes to go. Nelson trying to escape pressure. He does. He launches it to Tyrone Deloney. He comes up with the catch. Lincoln needing a score. Nelson keeps it himself, but is dropped at the line of scrimmage. But wait, he passes to Cameron Allen, and Allen scores a 3-yard touchdown pass. It's a 2-point game. Trojans trying to mount a comeback, but it's just not enough as the Knights line up in victory formation, and their quarterback is pumped. Connor Stoddard hyping up his teammates as they celebrate the 23-21 win. Connor says he was very proud of his team.
We were courageous. That was the theme this week, and we weren't afraid of them, and we just went in and we played our ball. And a big key too is our start. We haven't had a start like that, and we started off pretty good.
The Dixon Rams stampeding onto the field for the Golden Empire League title game with Casa Roble. First quarter, quarterback Jet Harris with the lateral pass to Braden Bombach. Braden weaving in and out of traffic for the big gain. And the Rams score on that very same drive as Harris rolls right and connects with Mark Bernard, who scampers in for the touchdown. 7-0 Rams. And the defense keeps Casa scoreless after a quarter of play when Brent Green comes down with the interception. Brent gets a little room to run, but gets taken down by Josh Taylor and a few Casa Rams. The Green interception allows for this: a Jet Harris, Mark Bernard, 19-yard touchdown reception. Dixon goes on top 14-0. But Casa gets on the board before the half when Jason Lindahl pitches it to Daniel Renner. Daniel squeezes his way into the end zone to make it a 14-7 game at the halfway point. Then in the third, it's Josh Taylor with the handoff. He goes up the gut and picks up the first down. Josh punches it in a few plays later. The extra point is blocked, so Dixon has the 1-point advantage, and it stays that way. Casa Roble now on its final drive. Lindahl keeps it for himself and picks up a big first down to enter Dixon territory. 12 seconds left. Casa 5 yards out. Malachi Martinez is given a straight shot at the quarterback, and that was huge. Down by 1. A field goal can win it for Casa. The kick is blocked, and that is how this one ends. Dixon takes home the Golden Empire League title on the blocked field goal. Joe Davidson from the Sac-Hi was there to chat with those rowdy Rams.
Coming up, we will look back to that high-scoring D4 playoff game with Merced and Kimball.
Then we'll take you back to the story of Verlis Smith from Ceres High School. 49ers Sac-Hi Sports will be back.
The Kimball Jaguars. Now that was a fun team to cover, and the Jags sure knew how to fill up scoreboards, averaging 49 points a game. But in this next game, it was the Merced Bears who were up for the challenge.
That is correct. This Division IV semifinal game was an offensive slugfest between quarterbacks Nicholas Coronado of Kimball and Seth Scheit of Merced. If you were there, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, then sit back, relax, and enjoy the highlights.
Tracy area sports coverage is presented by Tracy Toyota off Freeway 205 in Tracy, with you all the way. The Kimball Jaguars and Merced Bears in the Division IV semifinal showdown. The winner advances to the ship. Kimball jumps out to a 14-0 lead with 2 Nicholas Coronado, Mason Rivera connections. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Seth Scheit passes to Evan Perez, and Evan catches, turns, and runs. Perez gets taken down at the 15, and the Bears get on the board a few plays later when Chase Smith gets the handoff and makes his way to the end zone. 14-7 Kimball. On the ensuing kickoff, Travis Mariera is deep for the Jags. He goes up the far sideline, cuts back to the near sideline, and that is a house call. That extends the Jaguar lead to 15. Nicholas Coronado heaves a deep ball, and it finds the hands of Willie Clifton, that leading to another Jag touchdown with 4.5 left in the half. The Bears facing a 14-point deficit when Scheit throws a crosser to Evan Perez, and the senior captain makes it an 8-point game, but Kimball always finding a way to keep Merced at arm's distance. Rivera fields the punt, takes it to the house. The senior having a big game for the Jags. Shout out to Mason, and then he gives us a shout out.
Shout out Sac-Hi Sports.
34-20 heading into the second half. The Scheit-Perez duo was working as Seth drops a perfect ball into the hands of Evan. The Bears score on the drive. Merced with the momentum. The Jaguars near their own goal line on 4th down. The punt is blocked by Jelon Booth. That is a safety. In the 4th, Merced down by 6 when Scheit makes his way into the end zone. The point after gives Merced its first lead of the night. 43-42, 2 minutes left. Nicholas Coronado calls his own number, heads heads towards the end zone. The 2-point conversion makes the score 50-43. 4th down, 3 seconds left on the clock. Brissett just a couple yards out, and it's Scheit who breaks the plane and scores. 50-49, the Bears decide to go for the win with the 2-point conversion. Scheit passes to Jalen Foulbooth, and Jalen is in. That is it. Brissett wins 51-50 to advance to the Division IV semifinals, and we talked to the ecstatic Bears QB1.
It's amazing. Thinking back, we lost the section in 2006. I'm not converting a 2-point conversion. And to give my dad that score, it's awesome. So excited. I'm so happy for 51 who caught that pad, that lateral. We've been playing together since we were 8. It's just crazy, I know. So glad we're not done.
That was an exciting game, but time now to feature our next inspirational athlete.
Our sports reporter Parker Ream introduced us to a Granite Bay senior, Adeline Van, who found a perfect recipe for recovery.
On the outside looking in, the Granite Bay girls water polo team has plenty to be proud of this season. But you know what they say.
They always say like what happens in the water like stays underwater. So like what we see on the first surface is kind of just like a little bit of what happens with the action.
But just like water polo, there's more to Adeline's story than what you see on the surface, because that's not her only hobby.
I got into baking when I think I was about 12 years old. I started doing like cupcakes and cakes, but like every baker knows like macarons are like the hardest thing to make like out of baking. If you master that, you basically like mastered baking.
Heading into high school, it seemed that Adeline had it all figured out. But around the same time she started water polo her freshman year, her friend Zina Alzanoun received some news on vacation.
So we went to a different doctor, x-rays, checkups, blood tests, all this stuff, and they were like, you guys should go home. This is not looking good.
The diagnosis proved that when they got home.
And they finally diagnosed me with Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 4A.
Hodgkin's lymphoma is a form of cancer that prevents the immune system from fighting off diseases. The 5-year survival rate for stage 4 patients is just about 65%. The news crushed Adeline, but she knew she had a role to play.
It was like definitely really hard for me to see her go through it all, but I think like her just keeping a positive attitude for her really helped reassure everyone and herself as well.
So she started with a splash of success. Add in a dash of diligence, a sprinkle of sugar, and a heap of hope for good measure. By mixing all that together, Adeline had all the ingredients for the perfect recipe for recovery.
Came up with an idea where I'd sell a product that people I knew, people I'm close to loved, and also could give back to the donors that have done so much for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Addie founded Adeline's Macarons her freshman year as a way to raise money to support Zina and raise money towards fighting cancer, with 100% of the proceeds donated to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. She never expected what came out of it.
It's always been something she's really good at. Also just art, so she can do art on the baking. So she's always been so good at it, and so it was really cool that she found a way to make it her passion into something that could help others.
Shortly after she opened up shop, that heap of hope paid off.
I had 6 months of chemotherapy, and then that was it.
With Zina in remission, Adeline turned her focus to water polo and continued the fight. She raised over $15,000 toward cancer research since then, and continues to work toward her original goal of $50,000.
It really meant a lot to me that I was the reason she started this, and then also that she continued it for a while, even though she knew I was cancer-free, just to help others.
Because the fight is not done, and whether it's Zina talking to Congress over Zoom or Adeline raising money with her baking, both girls seek to keep making a difference until they see that change.
She's gotten so much stronger than I'm so proud of her just from like how far she's come, and honestly she's probably one of the most inspirational people in my life now.
Learning lessons along the way.
I think it's definitely helped me like kind of open my eyes a little bit as to that there's more beyond like the diagnosis and also more to patients than I really realized over the surface.
Because what happens on the surface is only a little bit of what you see in the action. In the fight against cancer. Reporting in Placer County, Parker Ream, 49ers Sac-Hi Sports.
Coming up, our second SunPower Electric game. It's another fall game, Antelope and Whitney in a playoff thriller.
That was a good one, and later we have the plays of the year, so stick around. First, here is this week's Cal Hope mental health tip.
Improve your mood during the pandemic by keeping in touch with your friends and family. Chatting on the phone or texting someone you care about can really help. Seek out people who can lift your spirits or make you laugh, because while we're physically separated, we can still be socially connected.
Better sleep means a better you. That's why Mattress Firm made the Rest Assured Promise, featuring the best mattresses from America's best brands, like the Tempur-Breeze collection, so you can sleep up to 8 degrees cooler. Available now with a $300 instant gift, good towards sleep accessories. Our sleep experts have over 200 hours of training, so you can rest assured we'll find the right bed for you. Only at Mattress Firm, America's #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer.
The more we learn about COVID-19, the more questions we have. The biggest question now, what's next? What will COVID bring in 6 months, a year? If you're feeling anxious about the future, you're not alone. Cal Hope offers free COVID-19 emotional support. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
The Antelope Titans and the Whitney Wildcats met on the gridiron in a second-round playoff match. As expected, Antelope running back Corin Borders was the feature back of the offense. Borders ended up tallying over 2,000 yards on the season.
That's right, Robert. Could the Wildcats keep Borders on lockdown and at the same time get their own rushing attack going? Nick Pecoraro has our second installment of the SunPower Electric Game.
Nick Pecoraro here at Antelope High School, where the 4th-seeded Titans are about to host the #5 Whitney Wildcats. And as you can see behind me, there is a thick layer of fog all the way down at the field level. But hey, the show must go on. Antelope finished its regular season at 9-0, thanks in large part to junior Corin Borders, who leads the section with 220 rushing yards per game and 31 touchdowns. Looking to slow Borders and the Titans will be Whitney linebacker Brandon Wong. Last year, Wong led the section in tackles, and he followed up with his senior year where he was named the Sierra Foothill League Defensive Player of the Year. The Wildcats are coming off a 35-0 shutout over Inderkum in last week's playoff opener. It's the Titans and the Wildcats, and this is our SunPower Electric Game.
Corin Borders said he knew it was going to be a night to remember on Friday. What a prophet he turned out to be. First quarter, let's go. Whitney flexing its defensive muscle early. That's the Brandon Wong fellow I was telling you about in pregame. He blows that play up, but it's Antelope who strikes first. After a scoreless first quarter, Josiah Bateman into the mist, and Demarion Williams comes down with it for a 77-yard touchdown catch into the end zone, and into the fog he goes. But Whitney strikes back in the third. QB Roman Floyd doing as the Romans do with a 6-yard QB keeper to tie things up at 7 apiece. Fourth quarter now, lots of punts and fourth down stops in this game, but not here, as Takai Takahashi scoots in from 22 yards out. Wildcats now in front 14-7 early in the fourth. Antelope driving now. And you know, Demarion Williams' hands are like a jukebox, because Josiah Bateman throws another dime in him. That's an old rock and roll reference, kids. 76-yard score. Williams had 195 receiving yards Friday, and the game's tied at 14. Closing seconds now. Bateman dumps it to Jordan Saichow in the flat, but he launches one downfield, and it's Borders who goes up and gets it. A quiet game by Borders standards, but he comes up with the biggest play of the night. Titans at the 4 with just 11 seconds left. Antelope initially lines up for a field goal, but after a Whitney timeout, they decide to go for it. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. It does. It's Borders who punches in the game winner. It's 20-14. That is the final. Antelope advances to the D2 semis. I'm out of breath. Corin Borders, please take over for me, buddy.
Call it cash. Call it cash. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's time, we're going to get that money. We're going to get that cash. With the new A, you know what I'm saying? We work about the lowest highs and the highest lows. And we just stay focused, keep our head down, we don't talk. We let our pass do the talking, we let our play do the talking. That's the new A.
Here's another story we want to spotlight on athletes who inspire us.
Verlis Smith is a football player on the series football team. Our Brian Mueller tells us that Verlis found more than just one home playing for the Bulldogs.
Verlis Smith is always on the go. Tends to happen when you're a four-sport athlete. Football, volleyball, track, and basketball. In fact, is there a sport Verlis can't play?
Golf. Golf, man. Golf is a tough sport.
Okay, so you might not find Verlis on the fairways, but the grass is greener on the football field for the series senior.
Football, man, I just love it. I just love playing the game, love being out here on the field, love spending time with my brothers.
His work ethic, being a leader, team captain in the offseason, in the weight room.
Verlis is a busy man for the Bulldogs, playing wide receiver, corner, and even a little bit of QB. There's no such thing as idle hands for Verlis.
Staying busy is my motto, I guess, what I live by. Me staying busy, keeping myself busy, my brain busy on things that I love doing, man, this is what I live for, pretty much.
Staying busy was also once a necessity.
The background I've had hasn't always been all sunshine and rainbows, so growing up, sports was always that thing that got me away from home. I hate to say it, but it's true. It got me away from home, which I didn't want to be.
Verlis grew up in the El Dorado Hills area. Both of his parents battled drug addictions that tore the family apart. Verlis and his 3 siblings moved out when he was just 7 years old.
I was youngin', trying to provide for my little sister, my newborn little brother, and my older brother. We just did whatever we could to keep moving, to stay alive, really, because we really had to fend for ourselves.
Verlis and his siblings survived going from group home to group home. But through it all, Verlis clung to the idea that there were sunnier days ahead.
I was just always the kid that smiled through everything. So staying positive to me was really my sanctuary, to get away from reality.
Verlis was living with a family member in high school, but things didn't work out and he eventually moved out last year. He was still taking his high school classes online and working a part-time job, all while living out of his car.
My biggest thing was to get through it, whatever I had to do. Going through that time, school, working, sports, it wasn't easy.
But when Verlis was at his lowest, his Bulldog family was there to pick him up. This is series athletic director John Bassard and his family, a family that Verlis is now a part of.
We're ever going to do anything good, this is a kid that absolutely has earned and deserves a second chance.
Verlis has been living with the Bassards since December, a time that has been filled with new experiences.
He came up to me and asked me to teach him how to shave. And it's like, God, there's things you just don't even think about that were just second nature with your own children, but now you're dealing with somebody else. So it's been an education process for us, big time.
I've never had a room to myself, so me having just a room to myself, man, feels good. Like I said, I'm grateful for this family, for what they're doing for me and getting me to that next step of life.
The boy that had to learn to be a man far too soon can now just enjoy being a kid again.
To me, he was robbed a lot of his fun times of growing up. So we really have, tried to take that burden off of him. That was huge for us, was providing a little bit of stability for him so he could enjoy being a kid.
Verlis has a 4.15 GPA and is on his way to helping Series have their first winning season since 2004. He hasn't forgotten where he's come from. He wears number 12 to honor his late father's birthday, and he hopes to improve his relationship with his mother. He's not bitter. In fact, it's quite the opposite.
If I didn't have what I went through years ago, I don't think I would be here right now. It motivated me to push harder. It motivated me to get through everything a lot better than what it had before.
With those hardships behind him, the man who likes to stay busy is learning to take things a little slower.
Now I could take a step back and breathe. Just relax, take a deep breath, man. It feels good. It feels really good.
Reporting in Series, Brian Mueller, 49ers Sac-Hi Sports.
Remember, all of the game footage we shoot is available for purchase on our website. Go to 49ersachisports.com and we will send it to you digitally.
Follow us on social media for lots of fun and exciting content. Our Instagram story is a great way to keep updated with scores, news, and so much more. 49ers.Sac-Hi is our handle on Instagram and Twitter. Coming up, Downey and Lincoln of Stockton met in a memorable regular season game that you need to see again.
Then it's the top 10 plays of the season. Could that play from Downey and Lincoln be one of those plays? We'll find out coming up on 49ers Sac-Hi Sports.
Welcome back to the NBC Sports Studio here at Levi Stadium. The Sheldon cross-country team was not sure if it was going to have a season back in August after their head coach Glenn Rogers passed away unexpectedly.
Our Brian Mueller featured the Sheldon team back in the cross-country season and shared with us Coach Rogers' impact on the talented runners.
Running is one of those things where you can just relieve all your thoughts, and if you're feeling upset, angry, whatever, like it's just a way for you to relieve any stress.
Something that has been much needed for Ashley Offord and the rest of the Sheldon cross-country team. Running has been an escape ever since that day in August.
We got an announcement saying like, oh, all cross-country runners go to the cafeteria right after school. The second I stepped into the cafeteria and I see like the principal, a couple counselors, some teachers, and I didn't see him, a part of me already kind of was like shattered because I knew it wasn't going to be something good if he wasn't there.
He is Glenn Rogers, Sheldon's beloved cross-country coach. He passed away unexpectedly on August 30th at the age of 70.
The second that they told us, like, it was just complete disbelief. I completely broke down along with everybody else. Like, it was just really hard just hearing that, just knowing how 1 second he was there and then the next he was gone.
Glenn Rogers was the only cross-country coach in the school's 24-year history. His legacy cannot be quantified just by his runners' times or medals won, but also by the impact he had on so many Sheldon students.
He was amazing, man. He was just so dedicated to us, and like, he knew all of us. Kids from like 25 years ago, he knows everybody's name. He affected so many people in like the best possible way. He was like that person for a lot of people in high school that like they could go and have a safe place after school.
Coach Rogers would also buy running shoes for his kids that didn't have them. He was always willing to go the extra mile for his runners. He cared, which made the thought of having a season without him all the more difficult. But then the team remembered one of his favorite sayings.
Those who endure conquer, and that's just kind of what also words have been carrying us through that season. Like, he would put that on the back of all of our t-shirts and like always say that to us. And so like that, like those who endure, like we're gonna keep pushing through this.
Because that's what their coach would have wanted, for them to endure, to keep running. So through their tired legs and heavy hearts, that's what the Huskies did. They ran for Coach.
We'd be running and like we'd get to a place where our coach's truck would be and we would all like start crying, and it's like, okay, we got to keep going. Like this is like we're running with a purpose. Like there's a reason why we're here.
We had this saying, you run for Coach, right? Our very first meet after the whole thing went down, one of my captains was like, run the way Coach would want you to run. You know, you're not out here running for PR, just run the way Coach would want you to run.
Though Coach Rogers may be gone, he's far from a distant memory for his runners both present and past. The high school held the first annual Glenn Rogers Memorial 5K in October. Alums from as far away as North Carolina came to run for their old coach.
Looking at our lives, like, oh yeah, he impacted us, like we're the living students that are like right now, but then seeing all those kids from like many, many years past, like come and see how much he affected their lives, it's just crazy to me. Like, he had such a wide reach.
I think it's a way to let his family know how much he's impacted the community. You know, as a spouse or a child, you might not be around to see how he dealt with kids, and I think it's a big deal that they were able to see, like, this is what his time away from us, this is what he's done throughout these years.
Coach Lee says they're planning on making the memorial run an annual event, and the proceeds will one day go to a scholarship fund in his name, ensuring that Coach Rogers' impact on Sheldon students is far from the finish line. Reporting in Sacramento, Brian Mueller, 49ers Sac-Hi Sports.
The Sheldon runners still keep in touch with Coach Rogers' family and update them on meet results throughout the season.
Coming up, we will choose the plays of the year. How about this one? That could be it. Stick around to find out. Time now for the top 10 plays of the year.
Our Brian Mueller and Parker Ream got together, which is never a good thing, and broke down all of the contenders, and then will show us the best of the best.
Well, it's officially post-holiday season, and while you guys were busy taking down your decorations
and staring in horror at your credit card bills, please let us at 49ers Sac-Hi Sports get your 2022 off to a great start. And what better way than looking back at 2021?
I mean, more specifically, the best plays of 2021, the tantalizing touchdowns, the sensational spikes from volleyball high school athletes. They continue to amaze us in the Sacramento area.
So without further delay, please let us show you the top 10 plays from the 2021 fall sports season. For some honorable mention appetizers, Escalon's Emily Middleton with the unconventional kill off the shoulder in for a point.
And our other honorable mention comes from Folsom against De La Salle, the star junior wide receiver Rico Flores Jr. What a one-handed grab. More on that game later.
Let's get to our top 10 now. At number 10, our North Offensive Player of the Year, Darian Leon Guerrero, shows he has some power to go along with that speed. That's how you finish a touchdown run, Parker.
At number 9, Tyler Jacklich gets a run of his own, the handoff, and this run is absurd, the hurdle. Then the insane stiff arm, get off me. He does everything on this play to get into the end zone, and he does. What a play, Brian.
Number 8 now. Check out the diving dig from Kira Gossett. Not only does she get the ball, she gets the point as well. All in a day's work.
All in a day's work to Escalon for number 7. Cougars against Hilmar. Owen Nash corrals the deep pass, but that's not the play. This is sending them back to Hilmar with the stiff arm for the tutty.
We like numerical symmetry here at 49ers Sac-Hi Sports, so number 6 is appropriately a pick 6. Lincoln's Jordan Wagner fights the fog and secures the INT, and with the game tied, this would wind up being the game-winning pick 6 for those Zebras.
We at 49ers Sac-Hi Sports love game winners, so let's show you 2. We couldn't decide on just one, so I guess there's a top 11 right here. Seth Scheidt to Jalen Thaubuth from Merced, the game winner on Friday. But then the next day, another 2-point conversion game winner from Torrey Hendrick gets the Bulldogs to the section championship with that 2-point conversion.
Only one play here at number 4, but it is a good one. Nolan Crosdale from Central Catholic punches the ball loose just in the nick of time to save 6 points for the Raiders.
At number 3, we go all the way back to week 3. Lincoln against Downey. Kenyon Nelson about to go down, but incredible awareness to find Josiah Hamilton, the TD, from his tushy.
How about a 2-point conversion for number 2? Late in the 4th, De La Salle going for 2 in the win against Folsom, but the Bulldogs build a wall at the goal line and stop them to win the North title.
One of the biggest plays in NorCal. We go to the best play you've seen all year. No time on the clock. Mountain House down 8. Amari Brooks to Roy Gardner, but Dexter Francis III comes back and takes it from him and walks it in for the score. Dia 3, you get the play of the year. That's the play of the year. There were plenty of worthy nominees, but there could only be one winner.
That's right, Parker. Highlander rules do apply here at 49ers Sac-Hi Sports, and we look forward to bringing you all the best plays from the 2022 winter sports season.
But for now, the dishes are done.
The dishes are done. That's the top 10 plays of the year, and that is 49ers Sac-Hi Sports for this week and the 2021 season. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. I am Aubrey Tolliver.
And I'm Robert Braunstein, and I don't have to do the dishes. Join us next week as we get back to the hardwood with boys and girls hoops, and league play starts up. We'll see you then.